Gastan fue un programa de televisión británico transmitido entre 1982 y 1983 en Channel 4, presentado por Wakeman y Tony Ashton. Su formato era único, un ambiente relajado, similar a un bar, donde los músicos invitados compartían anécdotas y realizaban interpretaciones en vivo junto a la banda de la casa. Este enfoque permitió colaboraciones espontáneas entre artistas de distintas bandas, creando momentos musicales irrepetibles. Wakeman, reconocido por su virtuosismo en los teclados y su trayectoria con Yes, fue el alma del programa. Su estilo progresivo y su capacidad para fusionar géneros hicieron de cada episodio una experiencia especial. En el evento del 12 de marzo de 1983, Wakeman ofreció una actuación memorable, destacando su maestría en el teclado y su habilidad para conectar con el público. Durante el show, se interpretaron versiones reimaginadas de clásicos y piezas originales creadas para la ocasión. El programa contó con invitados de renombre como Eric Burdon, Bill Leonard, Steve Hackett y John Entwistle, quienes aportaron su talento y carisma a cada episodio. La banda de la casa, compuesta por Wakeman, Aston, Chas Crunk, Jerome Remsen y Tony Fernandez, proporcionó una base sólida para estas colaboraciones musicales. Gastan sigue siendo recordado como un espacio donde la música y la conversación se fusionaron de manera única, dejando un legado de actuaciones icónicas y momentos inolvidables. Disfruten del video. Muchas gracias.
Welcome people to our show. It's a very nice show. Everyone knows lots of musicians come and go. We call this gas tank. We call this gas tank. Bench.
Or Gestank, as the Germans call it. Both myself, that's Rick Wakeman, and my compatriot in crime over there, Mr. Tony Ashton, are really knocked out that our next guest can make it. Because Tony, of course, just loves his music, and Alvin Lee, who it is, owes me a fiver. Alvin Lee.
Yo! Ready to rock and roll?
first time I met you, which you most probably might remember, was in the wonderful days when I was on my very first tour with Yes, and we were third in the bill to 10 years after. There was Jay Giles' band in the middle, which is out in LA. We had the wonderful 25-minute spot, which I'm sure you went through as well. And I was actually, this is no bullshit, I was very actually stunned by, I couldn't believe there was like 18,000 people just absolutely going bananas when you wandered on the stage.
What year was that?
71.
71. It was great. It kind of built up slowly. To tell you the truth, I went off it. I used to call them the concrete obelisks because of the sound you got. I really prefer playing kind of a 3,000-seater club. I mean, really, like the Marquee. It's not that big. But you know, when you get the sweat dripping off the walls and the sound goes, and you go in them big ice hockey stadiums and the sound, and you play a chord and it goes, and you know, the first 50 rows can see you and there's little specks at the back. And it seemed a bit strange to me. But of course, in '69 I did that Woodstock thing, right? And we did the gig and it was great. And then it was a year later, the movie came out. And then it wasn't until the movie came out that it made a big thing of it.
It was the movie that broke the band a lot.
It broke us into that big market. But in fact, we preferred the audiences we got before. We were playing to kind of what we called heads in those days, you know, leather jackets, beards, bluesers, used to do a bit of blues and a bit of jazz. And then suddenly it was like 14-year-olds running down the aisles with ice creams and you know, the gigs were havoc. And also those big gigs at that time, you know, there was like problems with security.
Did you find any sort of problems with the fact that you being Alvin Lee were the main person in 10 years after they came to see? Did you have any animosity within the band?
Well, there was a bit, but I mean, it wasn't supposed to be that way. But I mean, I sing and play lead guitar, you know, I mean, that's kind of natural that... You know,
is that what finally folded the band, or what?
No, not really. We got over-toured. You know, when a band breaks, I mean, when you start off, all you're trying to do is fill your gig sheet, right? If you can get 6 nights a week, you're raving. And then when the band broke, you know, we were like, played for about 3 years, 6 days a week. And nobody had time to think, and we had no time to write new tunes, and everybody started grumbling a bit, and you know, the heart went out of it.
Ash and I have had the lucky choice of bringing the people that we wanted to the programme to play, and it's nice to get back to what we call, and this is no offence to newcomers around, some good musicianship, people who can play, and people who've got something to talk about. Do you miss that sort of musicianship that's going around now?
In a way, I do. I tend to stick with the kind of Thames Valley gang I know, you know.
Yeah, right.
But I think they're there or they're building. You know, some of the 18. I've had a few bands in my studio, and you know, like 18-year-old kids, and they can't play great yet, but occasionally you see one that will be doing in a couple of years, you know, and maybe they are there. It's just, you know, the communication problem.
If a company came along to you tomorrow and said, "Would you put, you know, 10 years after back together again to do an album and to maybe do a tour," would you do it?
Well, it wouldn't be up to me. I'd say ask everyone else first, because
no, it's up to you, because theoretically it's.
I wouldn't mind doing a one-off thing. I wouldn't particularly like to go off on it all the while.
Let's put it this way. So I was a record company, and I said to you, I said, "Alvin, you're the governor of the 10 years after. Know the stuff you've done on your own. Would you put 10 years after back together again to do an album and to do a tour? Would you do it?"
I consider it. I have to ask the chaps.
I can think of no better intro. Thanks very much,
Right,
Alvin.
mate.
Baby
particularly in the belly region, and also, you know, amongst the musicians as well. You notice we've got Howie Casey on sax, which is important that Howie's joined us because of the fact that this next track really needs a bit of brass. It also needs two drummers. Well, it doesn't actually need two drummers, but it's a damn good excuse to use our next guest. It's J.M. Pace. And this is Ashton's Coming Home song, The Resurrection Shuffle.
Choose yourself, have to think, you don't have to move muscle to the browbeaten heavy leather. Resurrection. That's what you gotta do. Ah, yeah. All right, do as you will. Go on, boy, son. All right. Think about nothing and you're nice and high. Advocating love, but you don't know what. You got vibration down to your feet. That's the browbeaten heavy leather resurrection beat. All right. Put your hand on the hip. Now you let your backbone slip. Put it out, tongue, put your hand in the air. Make the beat sound like you just don't care. Now you feel free, you gotta lose control. Everybody's mother's got a little bit of soul. Don't have to think, you don't have to move a muscle to the browbeaten heavy leather. Resurrection show. One more time. You're doing all right. All right. You're doing all right. Don't get uptight. Take it easy. Forget it. All right.
It was sort of a rare situation at the end of the 60s and the early 70s where there were a few bands, you know, such as Purple and ELP, were nice at the time, where a drummer actually came through and became a name in his own right. I mean, you and Carl were one of the, well, in fact, were the two drummers that people, you know, copied.
If they copied us, we copied other people, and if they copy us, it's just a natural progression, you know. I think we were very lucky to be around at a time when music was very exciting, you know. There was a lot of all the borders have been broken down, and you could do exactly what you wanted.
Who did you copy?
Initially, Bobby Elliott, Hollies,
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of, why?
because he had a clean sound. Everybody else was all muddy and flappy, and he had a real sharp sound. And that was why.
I mean, when I bought the first Purple albums, which Shades of Deep Purple, which is going back to the days of Rod Evans and...
You
and
were the
Nick
one,
Simmons.
were you?
Yes, I was the mad fool.
Yeah.
Tracks like Mandrake Root were one of the first tracks. We actually could hear the drums, you could hear, you know, the drum patterns.
Every mistake, yes.
I've got to ask you, because there was a single that was released over here that very few people know about, which was Emeretta.
Yeah.
Which finished up with a drum solo, which was most unusual for a single to finish up with that.
Yeah, well, that was really because the song was so simple in itself, and it was written so quickly because, you know, contractual obligations. We couldn't think of an ending, and the easiest thing to do is for everybody just to stop playing and leave me fiddling around in tempo, you know, fade. And there was no great sort of thought of putting a drum solo in there. I mean, so we really couldn't think of an ending. That was that.
On the, you know, when you first went to America, it's one of the first English bands to break in America.
Yeah.
Did you, were you aware, for example, when you did, you know, some of the American TV programs, which most bands never did after that, that people were actually watching, expecting you to do something special?
Well, We didn't know. We were sort of like lambs to the slaughter over there. I mean, it was first time, you know, the great big US, and we just did as we were told. The record company man said, this will be good for your exposure, this will sell you records. Well, we didn't know. You know, we didn't know a thing, so we just said yes to everything. I mean,
How did you join Purple?
I joined Purple by Richie having seen me play played a year earlier in the Star Club in Hamburg. He just thought I was most over-the-top thing he'd ever seen. And when he put Purple together, the singer who was in my band, that was Rod Evans, applied for the job with Purple, and Richie put 2 and 2 together and said, is that drummer still with you? And Rod said yes. So Richie said, bring him along.
And the name Purple came from the song?
Yeah, it did really. Richie's grandma used to play it. I think it's the last thing she played before she snuffed it, actually. The D. Oh, God.
That impressive, eh?
Yeah, it was really that. Yeah.
When Purple folded, how did you feel?
At the time it folded, I wasn't very sad at all. I mean, so the whole thing had gone upside down. The people involved were not functioning as they should function. What I think should have really happened for the good of everybody, and maybe for the good of music itself, was that when Richie left, we should have said, okay, look, everybody go and do what they want to do, and we'll come back every 2 years and we'll make a record, we'll do a tour, we'll have fun, and we'll still be able to keep our, you know, our sort of sanity by doing things we want to do ourselves. I think it was a very naive move and a very silly move just to say that's the end of it. We tried one more time with Tommy Bolin, who played really well, but the chemistry did not happen.
Now you've had the experience and the chance of working with other musicians as well, would you like to carry on doing that, or would you like to put a Purple back together again?
What could we do? You know, we could be playing the hits and the popular things from 10 years ago. And if it's just nostalgia, then the only real reason music to do it is for
it's money.
The money in your
hand.
hand.
What about Whitesnake?
Well, that's gone on to a new thing now, because I've left that. They're going to tour 9 or 10 months of the year, and I'm not prepared to do that anymore. I have other interests in my life, and that doesn't, you know, I don't really want to spend 9 or 10 months a year in a hotel room. There are other things for me to do. So whatever they're going to do is great. I'm having fun now with Gary Moore. We're having fun. We're making music that I'm enjoying. It's a nice, not temporary arrangement, but neither is it a permanent one. I mean, we both look at it as well. We're both having fun, and it is paying for itself. That we'll carry on.
What about fronting your own band, an Ian Pace band? You thought about that? I've
thought about it, but for a drummer to do that, it really is very difficult. For somebody who doesn't sing, doesn't write, doesn't actually play any other instrument, it's a lie, really, isn't it? You know, fronting your own band when you know, it's not on.
But you want to carry on playing. You want to carry on working.
Oh yeah. But I want to do it on my terms.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've earned that right. Through the years of hard work in the past and the luck of success, I've earned the right to pick and choose my time and my place. And while I do it like that, I'll always enjoy it. And when I'm enjoying it, I'll play well. If I don't enjoy it, I don't play well.
The thing that's interesting is I can count myself as one of them. I know at least half a dozen others that feel exactly the same as you do. And it's nice for situations like we have in Gas Tank, hopefully, for those sort of people to get together and play and maybe produce some sort of music without having the pressures and the problems that
That's right, until you come up with a thing like we have to play today.
Sorry about that.
The Brain Strangler, yes. Yeah.
Thanks very much indeed, Ian, and please come back again, and I hope the cheque clears.
Certainly. Could you make it £10 next time?
All right. Okay, mate.
Fantastic. We smile at each other forever now.
Yeah.
During rehearsals, yes, we do have rehearsals. Ian Pace said to me, it's very difficult to get over percussion and drums on a TV programme, so why don't we just knock up a piece that sort of enhances the prowess that I've got? Well, he made the cheque out the cash, and we wrote this piece of music. And during the recording, rehearsal, I should say, our producer and director, Mr. Paul Knight, who wants a name check, and also Jerry, walked in and said, is it all together? And we said, possibly. We realised that we hadn't got a name for this piece of music. It's called Possibly. we've dug up Captain Tucky, who actually discovered a lot of the Thames and some of the boats down beneath it. He also became part and parcel of a very famous husband and wife team. We actually got accused on this programme of not really having enough of the female variety of musicians on the programme. So we dug up Susie Quattro. And this is where the connection comes in, because she's married to Captain Tucky. He's the one who plays the guitar. We've also dragged in Steve Hackett, who plays the harmonica, not normally, but does on this occasion. And Susie's the one who sings My Babe.
only female that's ever been on this show. Am I? Half Maggie Bell. She didn't play an instrument. Not that, oh. Okay, we're going to do something. This is originally recorded by Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels a long time ago, and Roy Buchanan did a superb version of it, so that's what we're going to do. C.C. Ryder.
very interesting that the Quattro family, which is not that well known in England, except for one person, which is Susie, but you have a sister and a brother who in fact are very well known
the other side of the Atlantic?
Actually, I've got, let me see, there's 4 girls and 1 boy. The one that you're talking about is Patty, who is 6 foot tall, which, as you can see, bears a strong resemblance to me. And she played lead guitar and Fanny. And my brother, Mickey, plays keyboards. And my other sister, Arlene, was a keyboard player and played in our band for a while. And the little sister studied opera and was a singer and bass player in our band for a little while as well. So, and my dad's a musician.
So how did you end up over here?
BOIC, British Airways.
Very good. And at the end of round 1, Joan Crawford. No, seriously, how did you end up over here?
I was in a band from the age of 14, which is 1964, up until 1970. And Mickey Most came to Detroit with Jeff Beck to record the album that never got released at the Motown Studios. It was redone again. And I forget which album it was now, Truth? Anyway, he came over to Detroit to do that. My band was playing a gig. He came to the gig and sort of went to me, back of the hall. Do you want to make...
The band was called what?
Cradle. In fact, I wasn't even lead singer at the time. I was just the bass player, and I sang one song which I'd written. And he called me back and he said, "Are you interested in recording?" And I said, yes. And he said, "Would you like to come to England?" And I said, yes. And I left. I was only supposed to be here for 3 months, and that was October of 71. It's now, what? January 82.
Something like that. 83?
83? Yes,
like
83, yeah.
So when you came here, did you decide to stay here, or did you want to go back, or what? Or did you meet Len?
Well, a bit of everything. I didn't want to go back because I was smart enough to know that Mickey was giving me my first break, which is basically what it was, you know, when somebody says to you, singles you out. And I'd been waiting for that chance all my life to go on my own and be a solo performer. And then I got really fed up not doing gigs because we were just recording all the time. In fact, I was going stir crazy. So Mickey said, "Go out and find yourself a band," which is where Captain Tucky comes in. I hired a drummer, a keyboard player, and I got rid of one flash guitar player who I didn't like. Gave me a bit of lip. I don't like people talking back to me. So,
that clears the interview up for this evening.
So Lenny showed up for the audition at 12 o'clock at night. I woke him up from bed. His friend called him and said, "Can you come and audition for this girl's band?" He knew who I was. He walked in, and I was being my really tough self, and I kind of went, "Oh, hello." So he was really pleased to see me. Anyway, we started talking, and I said I didn't want any flash guitar players. I just wanted somebody who had that rock and roll feel, and I was really insistent on that. And he didn't say anything. He was very quiet. The only time he's ever been quiet since I've known him. And then we went to the rehearsal hall and played. This is sounding like a love story now, isn't it? Anyway, we jammed till about 5 in the morning, and that was it. And he was in my band. And then 2 weeks later, on the Slade tour, we were in love. Oh, isn't that sweet?
And now, 10 years later,
yes.
you got a little girl,
yes.
Laura.
Yeah.
Has that changed, the music, changed your style, changed even your feeling about rock and roll?
No, it hasn't changed anything about that. All it does is add a different dimension to your life. Instead of thinking you all the time, you've got another person there, that's all. But she's going to be a rock and roller, I'm convinced.
You say you're convinced. I mean, there's a little thing that I did find out about you. You are very into star signs, which is something we've not had on this program at all.
Yeah, I am, actually.
Very sceptical, but you are very into that.
You're skeptical.
Yeah, I'm sceptical on star signs. Len, what's he?
He's Sagittarius. Shall I tell you what Len is supposed to be?
Well, what he's supposed to be, I mean, he did actually hold my hand in the dressing room before we started. Now, what is he meant to be?
Maybe he's not what I thought he was.
He's not a Virgo, I tell you that.
No. Edit.
What's he supposed to be?
He's supposed to be an outdoor man, which he is. He loves shooting and everything. You never can cage a Sagittarian. A Sagittarian must feel free at all times. When they're having a good time, you cannot drag them away, ever. Very outspoken, sort of. If there's a comment to be said, they will say it. And they point arrows to your heart at the truth. You never get any bullshit from a Sagittarian. They will tell you exactly what's what.
What about music on the star signs? Any chance of the whole Quattro families getting back together again?
No, we're so different. There's a Pisces, a Virgo, a Gemini, a Sagittarius, which is okay.
Well, Ashton would like to meet the Virgo.
Pardon?
And so, let's clear that one up. Susie, thanks for coming on. Tremendous.
Thank you.
Bless you.
You didn't ask what I was. Gemini.
Sweet as she could be, all dressed up like a downtown Right, here we go now.